Good morning, Dr. Vijay.
Good morning, Girish. Good evening, Girish.
Yeah, good evening as per our time. And welcome, Dr. Lucy. I hope you can hear us.
Yeah, she's just connecting. She's almost there.
Yeah.
Lucy, yeah, Girish said hello to you. You are
You
muted.
need to
Oh,
unmute your mic.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
yeah.
Fine. So, good morning to everybody from USA and good evening to all the participants from India over here. My name is Colonel Girish Kumar Sharma and I head the International uh, Education Center in Manav Rachna. I welcome our guests from US, from Purdue Northwest for this panel discussion. Uh, Today's session will be focused on the 2+2 articulation agreement, which has been executed between us and Purdue for their Bachelor's of Science in Computer Engineering degree course, wherein our students enrolled in computer science will be given due credit for the studies done in the first 2 years by Purdue Northwest University. And they can transfer to their campus after 2 years in our campus and earning the specified credits. This is subject to meeting the admission criteria of both the universities. For the panel from Purdue Northwest, we have my very dear friend, Dr. George, who is the executive director of the International Education Center and looks after all the international education activities of the university. He's been instrumental in formulating, conceptualizing, and progressing this articulation agreement between both the universities. Thank you for your efforts, Dr. George.
Thank you for having us.
We also have our old mentor, Dr. Vijay, who is from electrical engineering and he's the department chair in Purdue Northwest. He's an advocate of experimental learning and industry engagements and fosters research that addresses contemporary problems. We welcome you once again for the second session, Dr. Vijay. Along with him, we also have Dr. Lucy, who joins us for the first time today. She's a professor of computer engineering in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Her research and teaching focuses on virtual reality, visualization, software engineering, and digital education. We welcome you, Dr. Lucy. From our side, we are joined by the faculty and the students from the higher education arena, that is both our universities from the computer science department, others who are interested in this particular subject. We are also joined by students from our schools, and we are also joined by few parents of the students who want to learn about the university. I would request all the participants from India to please reserve their questions till the end of the session or till the end of the presentation, and then post only the questions which are relevant to the session today towards the end of the session. Thank you, and I will now hand you over to the panelists from Purdue Northwest.
Well, good evening, everybody. And again, my name is Dr. George Kasenga, and thank you for being here for today's presentation about our cohort or our articulation program between our two institutions. I think this is an incredible opportunity for you, and we're looking forward to telling you today about Purdue University Northwest, and then I'll spend some time talking about the details of the program, and then Dr. Vijay will join in mostly to answer questions at the end, but also to discuss some elements of the program. So let me go ahead and get started so that we can get to your questions as soon as possible. In today's agenda, what I'm going to discuss, of course, are the introductions that we've already had. I'm going to do an overview of Purdue University Northwest so you can learn about our university, and then also talk about the cohort program details. Here you can see in this picture, this is just a small picture, but if you recognize this part of the United States, this is near our Great Lakes. Purdue University Northwest has 2 campus locations, and they are near Chicago. Chicago is the 3rd largest city in the United States, and there's easy access to the city from our campus location in Hammond. So the first thing I'm going to go through today are some facts and figures about the university, all the different colleges and majors that we offer, although we're going to focus primarily on the articulation agreement that you're going to be interested in today. I'll talk a little bit about our location and safety in the United States and on our campus, and then also about the application procedure for this program, and then the costs that will be with this program. So on this screen, I am not going to read to you every one of these facts and figures. I'll highlight a few, but I want you to take a moment to look at this. You can see that currently we have 47 different countries on our campus, so there's a lot of diversity. If you start at your home university and then join Purdue University Northwest, it will not be like joining a campus that only has students from India. Sometimes students from India are worried about this, but on our campus, we have many different countries represented. There is an Indian Student Association, so you can find community at our campus, but you also experience a lot of diversity, many different perspectives in the classroom, and a lot of fun people from around the world. And of course, we also have Chicago, which is a major international city for the United States. On the right-hand side, you can see that we have been recognized by US News and World Report for business and engineering to be among the best colleges and universities in the United States. We have approximately 10,000 students at our campus. So for the United States, this makes us a medium-sized university. What's important about being a school of our size is that we're not so large that you will get lost in the system. You will still be a person, you're gonna know your faculty, you're gonna know your advisors, but we are large enough to have resources that are gonna be available to you. Resources might mean lab equipment or lab experiences, but also means over 100 different student clubs and various activities for you to be involved with so that you're having a healthy, rich experience inside the classroom, but also outside of the classroom. That's important to us. We invest in that so that our students are having a good experience inside and outside of the classroom. We do have residence halls on campus, and I'll talk to you about that in a few minutes, but we are about 30 miles or 48 kilometers from downtown Chicago. We're near a national park, which is called the Indiana Dunes. This is a park of sand dunes near Lake Michigan, where there's a lot of hiking and biking and swimming. It's just an incredibly beautiful place. You could also see that we have a student to faculty ratio of 15:1. And so what does this mean? This means that there are 15 students for every faculty member on our campus. It does not mean that every class that you take will have 15 students. The truth is that for most universities around the world, in your first year or your second year, you will have larger classes because you are taking introductory courses that many majors require. And then as you get into your 3rd and 4th year at Purdue Northwest in this program, then your classes may get even smaller than 15. I know that I've had classes that only had 5 or 6 students, and they were the most rewarding classes I ever had, but you also had to make sure that all of your homework was done, all the readings were done. It's important, but you have the best experience because of that. Also, in the bottom of the screen, you can see that our mascot, his name is Leo. At Purdue Northwest, we call ourselves the Pride, and our mascot is a lion. And so this is Leo, and this is a very common activity to do in the United States for colleges and universities to have athletics teams and also to have a mascot. So I'm going to go to the next slide now. Some other facts and figures about Purdue University Northwest. Our initials are PUN, but we actually call ourselves PNW, Purdue and then Northwest. So PNW is our nickname. We are a medium-sized university. In the United States, there are 6 accrediting bodies. The same way a university in India might be deemed or recognized by the government, in the United States, they are recognized by accrediting bodies, and ours is the Higher Learning Commission. We do have an intensive English program that for many of you may not be something that you are interested in. But sometimes we have students from English-speaking countries who are concerned. They think maybe they have an accent, or maybe they don't think they're quite ready for the classroom. And our English language program would have some opportunities for you if you were interested in that. We also have 13 collegiate athletic teams. If you think you are a person who would want to play on one of the sports teams, you'll want to talk to the coaches. They will work with you on recruitment. But for the most part, our international students and most of our students play in our athletics clubs that are not for the collegiate level, but are intramural. And we have almost every sport you could imagine available to you. So and if there's something that you want to play or that you'd like to start a team for, then you can do that if it does not exist already. And you can get funding from the Student Government Association. As I mentioned before, we have about 10,000 students on our campus, and a little over 7% of those students are international students. Now, something important to know about Purdue University Northwest, you'll see sometimes that it says that we are established in 2016. So this is only 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, but we have a history that goes back to 1946. What does that mean? At our university, we used to be 2 separate universities in the Purdue system, but in 2016, we became one university. So now we are one university as of 2016 with 2 locations, and that was a major change in our history that happened in 2016. But we've been around much longer than that. We have a deep traditions and a large alumni base, and we're excited to have you become part of our university community. Okay, it's important to ask about rankings and to understand, many of you have probably heard of the Purdue University system, and we are the Purdue Northwest location, which is near Chicago. We have about 70 undergraduate majors. We also have many graduate programs that after you finish this articulation agreement, you might want to stay with us and finish your master's degree program, and I'd encourage you to look at that option. For our engineering programs, we are accredited by ABET. This is the Accrediting Board for Engineering and Technology. This is a premier accrediting recognition for engineering programs in the world. And again, in these programs, our faculty ratio is 16:1 if we're looking at engineering and business versus 15:1 for the entire university. So I'll just leave this on the screen for a moment for you to look at. I know today we are looking primarily at engineering, but it's important to know that we are a comprehensive university. We have 6 different colleges. We have 3 different schools that are within those colleges. So we offer the full range of the liberal arts and the humanities, as well as the STEM fields, and even health and medical professions when it comes to nursing on our campus. You can see some of the popular or the strongest majors on campus, of course, includes engineering, but also medical laboratory science and hospitality and tourism management. So there's a wide range of research and activity happening on our campus at any given time. So to speak for a moment about our location, if you recognize the map of the United States, the state of Indiana is highlighted in Purdue gold on this map, and we are in the very top northwest corner. So in the very top left, near Chicago, is where our campus is located. You can see in some of these pictures that I've provided, we have an active campus life, beautiful locations. We're lucky to have many green spaces and landscaping that is done that makes the campus very beautiful. But as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, we're also near Chicago. We're near Lake Michigan. Our students go there all of the time to enjoy, sometimes it's to enjoy sports or different cultural activities. Other times it's, it takes about 20 to 30 minutes by train, and many students will go for the evening. Maybe they're going to restaurants, but sometimes they're going to the different grocery stores that have all of the foods that our international students look for from their home countries. All of that is going to be available to you. And it's just so nice to be close to Chicago because we have all the benefits of the big city, but we are a little further away in Northwest Indiana so that we have a campus environment that is focused just for academic study without all of the distractions when you don't need them or want them. Again, I should also point out for you that in Northwest Indiana, in this part of the United States, we have all 4 seasons. And so right now it is summertime and it is beautiful, but we have spring, of course, and autumn, but we also have winter. And so sometimes our students, depending on what part of India they are from, they do not remember to think about this. And so we go on a special shopping trip to find jackets and gloves and scarves and all of these things. Because for me, I have been lucky to travel all throughout India. But I love having all 4 seasons. I appreciate having summer and winter, spring and autumn. So you'll get to experience those as a student at Purdue Northwest. Oh, I should also highlight here in this one slide, or the one picture, are the 2 locations. So as I explained to you before, we used to be 2 different universities within the Purdue system, and now we are one university with 2 locations. This actually makes a lot of sense for our students because it simplifies course registration and some of the finances and all of this. It's a better experience for our students, which is why the university made this unification. But here, the majority of our international students will stay at the Hammond location because this is where our residence halls are. But you're welcome to take classes or to live near the Westville campus. We do not require students to live on campus. This is not required, but I do highly recommend that international students consider living on campus because there are a lot of support services, there's tutoring available, all kinds of things are done in the residence halls to help you have a strong academic experience. If you are thinking about this, if you look for on social media, you can find Purdue Northwest Indian Student Association, or you can find other international student groups. This is also a way that students talk to other international students to find good apartments to live in, identify landlords that they like, just to find other students from your home country who might understand your questions or concerns. Sometimes for our parents, or your parents, of course, they like knowing that you've already talked to somebody from your home country, and doing that through social media to find a good place to live is a great way to do this. A little bit more about residence life. I mentioned that we have over 100 different student organizations on campus. Some of these are going to be academic in nature. So there might be an engineering club or a business club. Those are important, and they're important for you to join. Because if someone like me, if someone writes to me and says, there's an internship opportunity for an engineering student, I'm gonna share that with the engineering club, because that way I think it gets to all of those engineering students more quickly than if I just put it in a newsletter or post it on a wall somewhere. So it's important to join the clubs related to your major so that you're getting access to those types of opportunities and the mentorship and the guidance that comes from the faculty and advisors. But there are also going to be social clubs. So there may be an intramural sport. As you can see, there are over 40 different intramural sports. It's important to exercise your body just as much as you exercise your mind. We have a wellness facility on campus with a weight room and gym and treadmills, and there's courts for playing ball and all kinds of fun activities. But also you want to join social activities. So maybe you're looking for an opportunity to advocate for a social issue. So you might want to join a club that has one of those kinds of themes. I always encourage students to only have one or two clubs at the beginning, because all of them will look exciting to you, but academics, your classroom, your lab work, your research, so you don't have to worry yourself with too many clubs, but there's a lot of fun stuff to do. When you on campus, you do have a fully furnished style apartment. Every student gets their own bedroom. We don't have the bunk beds where it's one bed on top. We don't do that. Every student has their own room, and then you either share a bathroom with one other person, and then you can share a kitchen and living room with either one other person or with 3 other people. There are doubles and there are quads.